pre-concert ritual usually is quite fixed on the day of a concert. Usually there's a rehearsal in the morning. Then I'll often have a pretty big meal. The middle of the day meal will be the big meal. And then a nap or some kind of rest in the afternoon, mid to late afternoon, followed by an hour to an hour and a half where I'll go through the music in my head or sometimes even physically in my room, just imagining the orchestra and physically visualizing everything. I'd say there are two that I've really gravitated toward, Mahler and Shostakovich. They have a lot in common. Shostakovich was deeply influenced by Mahler. They both have a kind of enormous view of what a symphony can do, how it can encompass so many emotions and so many feelings and so many ideas and colors. And in fact, Shostakovich, I didn't like him until I was a young adult, and I became the assistant to Mstislav Rostropovich. From Slava, I really learned something about what that music means and how to get inside it. And I think ever since then, for several decades now, I've been very interested in his symphonies and performing as many as possible. A vocal ensemble, an a cappella vocal ensemble called A Room Full of Teeth, a very funny name. Fantastic singers, including Caroline Shaw, a composer and singer and violinist who wrote a piece for them called Partita. The most challenging thing about conducting, other than of course mastering music and vast amounts of repertoire, which is what we spend most of our hours doing, is in the hours of rehearsal when you're listening, analyzing, thinking, making immediate, instantaneous decisions, and in a way your job is to persuade 60 to 100 people, all of whom are first-rate musicians who know as much about the music as you do, to do things in a certain way. So it's really about persuasion. The very, very first time I ever performed at Carnegie Hall in New York, I wasn't living in New York, I was living in Washington, and so you pack your suitcase, you pack your performance clothing, and you're ready for the performance, and it's half an hour before the concert, and you get out your wardrobe, and I see that I have brought 2 black left shoes. So it was actually I think it was the second trombone player who was about my size who lent me his shoes and played that concert in stocking feet while I conducted the concert with uncomfortable shoes on. Great way to have your first introduction to Carnegie Hall.